Well, hey there, buddies. What's up, my dudes? We got us some more MX Bikes gameplay. Finally, bro. What you been doing, Spency boy? Bro, I don't even know. I know a lot of you guys have been wanting me to come in here and check out a bunch of these aerial tracks. I just kind of, with MX Bikes, it's not that I fall out of love with it. It's just there's times where I just don't really play it as much. And then there's other times where I start getting back into it, you know? So, anyways, I don't even know the last time I made a video on this game, but that was the last time I really played this game. So, you know, that was like at least a month ago or some shit. I don't even know, but we're going to try to get back into it a little bit here. This is the newest aerial track right here. Sick pre-made. That's the big thing I'm noticing with these newer aerial tracks. They're really starting to put those pre-made ruts. Even on like the landing of the rhythm section, you know, tabletop on-offs, or the whole track's got character to it. You know what I'm saying? That's a big difference in the newer aerial tracks that they're making versus the ones that they were making at the earlier part of the season. There's a couple of bigger crazy-ass quad jumps on this track. Maybe even like 5-style jumps and shit, as you would call it, if you kind of tabletop 2 jumps, right? But I could definitely hit a couple of them if I wasn't really like trying to stay on the bike, you know what I mean? But it would certainly be tough to hit some of these humongo lines like every single lap. I would have to put quite a bit more time into this game before I could really start doing that. But, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty impressed with this right here. I like to see the progression of the aerial series. Awesome-ass little pre-made rut before the finish line jump. You know, definitely takes this track to a whole nother level. Tons of different line options. It's got that jump skill gap. It's got that rhythm section skill gap. I do still kind of feel a little bit like the overall scaling is a little bit on the smaller side. I still get that feeling a little bit. I mean, the track is skill gapped. It's fun. It's ruddy. It's pre-made. It's all these other kind of things. But, man, I just still get a little bit of that crampy feeling. You know what I'm saying? A little bit of that almost feeling more like I'm on an arena cross track than I'm on like a full-blown supercross track when it comes to the scaling of it. It just seems like these tracks are a little bit more narrow. The stadiums are a little bit smaller. It just seems that way to me than like on an MX Simulator RF track, right? And I don't know. I don't know if that's caused from them trying to, you know, when Beta 17 came out and it kind of added more slide to the feeling of the bike. I know they tried to kind of change the traction a little bit on some of these newer aerial tracks to make it fit that sort of feel. But I think just the overall speed feeling of MX Bikes being a little bit slower in general, it sort of makes it to where it's almost like you have to make the track smaller scaling or you wouldn't be able to hit anything. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not even really blaming the track makers for making the track too small of scaling. It's almost more of the game itself and the speed of the game that I feel like is causing that. But we do still have time for, you know, these bikes to get faster over the next like 5 to 10 years. That would just be the natural progression of it. You would expect, you know, the OEM bike pack of 2026 to be faster than the OEM bike pack that we have now, and then that would allow them to then open up the scaling a little bit more and everything else like that. That's kind of what happened with MX Sim. Like, the bikes were a lot slower back in the day, and then the dynos just got faster and faster and faster, you know. So I think that same thing is going to happen to MX Bikes, but I'm not 100% sure on that. The whoops are cupped out. Awesome pre-made on the whoops. Gives them quite a bit more skill gap to them. But, yeah, I mean, I'm impressed with what they're doing. You know, I try not to be as harsh on these aerial tracks as I would an RF track because, you know, the aerial guys are still just trying to get the shit going. and I totally understand that. And I think they're doing a really good job for like where they're at and what they're doing and everything like that. So, but I think there will be that natural progression of the tracks getting a little bit wider, the scaling getting a little bit bigger. I just think you're going to see that progression may not happen this year, may happen next year. I'm not really sure, but I think the bikes are going to get a little bit faster. I think the tracks are going to get a little bit bigger. And when that happens, it's really going to open up the fun factor, skill gap, all that type of shit, right? But even this track, I mean, it's got a lot of fun factor. Like, you know, if you're trying to go around that first corner right after the start to jump up onto that tabletop, and there's ruts all over the place on it, you really have to make sure you jump that jump really straight, because if you're sideways at all and you land on one of these landings that have a lot of pre-made, it's just going to bounce like crazy. You're going to get all kinds of out of shape. So it's cool how it requires you to kind of hit these jumps a certain way to stay on the bike. You know what I mean? I do like that a lot. So either way, man, overall, love to see it. I'm going to come in here and check out a few more of these. Love to see the pre-made. This is what I wish RF was doing with pre-made on their tracks. Just going to keep it real with you. But yeah, I am excited for the day when the scaling and the stadiums and all this shit gets just a little bit bigger scaling-wise. I am really excited to see what that's going to do for this game. You know what I'm saying? So either way, man, appreciate you guys watching all the videos. Trying to shorten down these videos a little bit. Spency Boy's been pumping out all kinds of 420-minute long videos. we need to start cutting them down a little bit to size, you know what I'm saying? But this is a pretty good one right here. Difficulty, I'm gonna say, is probably hard, medium to hard for MX bikes, because you don't usually have this much pre-made on Supercross tracks, so it kind of takes it to another level in that sense. And I would say overall rating, fuck, dude, I don't know. It's like a 8 overall or something like that. Either way, man, appreciate you guys watching all the videos. Later, dudes.